What's up, you guys, and welcome back to my channel. It's time for a recap of what went down on the Teen Mom 2 Season 9 finale. And just for the record, that is episode 18. So we've been watching this show for like around 5 months, almost half of the year. Like, I'm gagging just thinking about the amount of life I've spent on this. Anyway, the episode kicks off with us finding out that Addie had like a swollen throat in the middle of the night that she woke up her mom, Leah, with concerns for. And so Leah, recognizing that her daughter's throat was spontaneously swollen, looked at it and thought, that's pretty damn serious. Let's get it checked out in the morning. As if her daughter could not like have potentially like suffocated or something like that in the middle of the night. Like, her reaction to it was absolutely off the wall weird to me. So the next morning, she did ultimately end up taking Addie to the clinic, and the doctor said that there was no signs of strep or anything like that. So they gave her some antibiotics to help with the swelling and sent them on their way. She reported the news to Jeremy, and Jeremy, you know, it didn't sit right with him, and so he decided to drive 3 hours down from his work site to accompany them to the actual hospital so that they could get it checked out like more extensively. Apparently the reason being that there's something that runs in his family, whether it's like cancer of the throat or something like that. They didn't really get into it. Meanwhile, in South Dakota, Cole takes Aubrey to the DaddyDaughter Dance for the first time, and Aubrey really wanted to wear a bra for the first time. These kids are going to be so mortified if ever they like have enough nerve to try and watch the series. I don't think anyone's gonna make it through every single episode. Like, oh, your first bra on TV. If it helps Aubrey, I remember my first bra. It was like these little triangular thingies. It was so funny. Anyway, in Delaware, Kale takes Isaac to get a white boy haircut featuring a fade, and he starts asking her about how long she's been on television for. He's like, have you had this job since I was like 2? And Kale tells him, no, I've had this job since I was pregnant with you. It's how I got the job. And I just have to laugh. Her humor's been on point this season thus far. We next see her back at home announcing to us that her sister has had the baby, and she literally has zero interest in introducing the news of the baby or like photos or anything like that to her sons when the producer asked. And I thought it was just so weird and abrupt. And she says that she doesn't want to tell the boys about her sister having a baby because she doesn't want any more like people who aren't going to be constants in their lives. And it's like, okay, well, that says all that you need to know about how much effort she's willing to put into her relationship with her sister. Like, to me, that said it all. It's like all of these friends can come and go. She was even suggesting to her kids that she might even end up marrying Lux's dad. And it was like, okay, but Lux's dad hasn't even acknowledged this girl since he knocked her up in a strip mall parking lot. Back in Janelle land, she and her rented friend are leaving their Floridian Airbnb, and she mentions wanting to talk to MTV about how she no longer wants to travel so much for the show to avoid the issues it's causing within her marriage with David. Weed pen in hand, she tells us that she's irritated with David's need to be combative with producers and for causing all of these issues in the first place. She seems like ready to accept the fact that she just might end up losing her job over her unemployed husband. So while I was proud of her in one breath for acknowledging that he is the problem and that he needs to shut up and stop negatively impacting her career, I was disappointed to see that although she's frustrated with him for all of these things, she's going to let him, you know, run amok and ruin these wonderful opportunities for her anyway. Next up, we're in South Dakota, where Chelsea asks her doctor for anxiety medication and obviously finds out there isn't really any medication that she can take while she's nursing. She actually even ends up revealing that she used to be on antidepressants, but she doesn't want to go back to them because they made her gain weight. Her dad did suggest that in the meantime, she try out some holistic methods like yoga and meditation, which I would totally recommend to her as well. Again, therapy is also a good something, but I think one of the things that can help her most is to not rush into having another child until, you know, she kind of gets herself back together, because these pregnancies are so much. Pregnancies are a lot on the body and the chemicals within your body as well. So it doesn't hurt to slow down. We're not baby machines in 2019 anymore. It's okay. You can slow down. Back in West Virginia again, Leah and Jeremy are driving back home from the hospital and looking at each other as if they were just banging in the hospital bathroom. Jeremy removes his hat to reveal his enticing greasy bangs as they continue to discuss Addie's swollen lymph nodes. It's time for the Dejesus family photos and Devoin shows up, but Louis ignores Roxanne's text, literally begging him to come for the sake of his daughter. daughter. Like, this is the type of man that Florida law will automatically grant 50-50 custody to if Briana does the right thing and files for the child support that she's entitled to. Like, this is disgusting. I really do hope that they kind of reevaluate this legislation, because it's not fair to the parent who's active, and most of all to the child who doesn't know the deadbeat parent. The girls are literally child model level gorgeous, and the photos turn out beautifully, especially the ones of Nova having fun, like doing cartwheels and stuff, while Stella cries in the background. Back in West Virginia again, Leah talks to her sister about the hospital stuff with Jeremy and Addie, and Victoria, like us, knows they're totally boning at this moment, especially with him inviting her to stay the night. Leah does ultimately reveal that doctors worry that Addie's got some kind of cancer in her throat. It turned out that this was not the case. I don't remember what the issue was with Addie in the end, but thank God she does not have any kind of cancer. In the final scene of the episode, MTV producers call Janelle about the traveling situation and stand firm on not wanting to film in North Carolina due to David's threats. Janelle stands by her husband and refuses to do any more traveling, and so they just continue to butt heads. And then my arch nemesis Kristen actually threw it out there that David was like sending serious threats to them in writing, and they could not move forward with that. And Janelle's one of those people who feels like just because they apologize or someone apologizes, you have to automatically accept it and be comfortable around that person. She's like, well, he apologized. He probably threatened to kill them, right? He apologized for threatening to kill you. Move on, you know? Like, come on, girl. That is not the way life works. Literally, my favorite line of the episode was when, like, things kind of quieted down for a second, and then Janelle was like, listen guys, I've gotta stand by my husband. This is my husband. It's not like we were on drugs and got married on a whim. Except that's literally probably 99% definitely what happened. They were totally on drugs when they got together, got married, throughout the relationship, probably even now, allegedly. It was such a joke. I don't think Janelle realizes how big of a joke her freaking marriage is to the world. The producers ultimately end up asking her what she thinks about them continuing on the show without her. They told her that they could go back to the higher ups at MTV with her answer about refusing to do any more traveling for the show, and then they asked her, like, how would you feel if they came back to us and said that we'd have to move on with the show without you? Ominous silence. And then Janelle goes, well, that's up to you guys. I have to focus on what's most important to me right now. And what's most important to me right now is my family and my marriage. And the episode ends there. I was quite underwhelmed with the scene, and honestly, with the entire finale episode as well. Like, and the whole entire season. 5 months, you guys. And this is all I get. Ugh. Anyway, as usual, I'm more excited to hear what you have to say about everything, so please make sure to leave all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below, and we'll chat.